Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Patz, and what you're about to watch is a two-part interview, open conversation podcast thing. I still don't know what to call it. It's definitely new to me, but it's a conversation I had with a good friend called Wolfles the Waffler. He streams on Twitch, and he's a very sweet bean. Um, I kind of allude to some of the reasons why I decided to do something like this, and it all stems a little bit from what I've been wanting to do for a while. But there's a different video for that. This is merely an introduction to let you know that this is a two-part video. One because we talked for a pretty good amount of time, and I thought a lot of things that we said in this call, in this interview, in this conversation was very important and that people can really relate to a lot of the things we say. So without further ado, here's part one. It is an hour long, and even the second part might even be a little bit longer. So I would recommend you to get some snacks, get comfy, get some water, and enjoy the conversation. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's something I've been working on for a while now. Look at me ramble. Okay, I'll let you guys go. Have a good one. I'll see you later. My name is Connor, and welcome to... Do we have a name for this yet? No? Well, alright. Anyway, let's welcome our guest. He's a grey wolf from Scotland who loves waffles and a sweet bean, a little bit stinky. It's Wolfles the Waffler. So tell me, Wolfles, what brings you here?
Whoa. Wait, what? Where's here? How dare you? Listen, I have like an average of 3 showers a day. How dare you insinuate this? I already get so much stinky hate.
It's okay to be a little stinky.
Excuse me?
Just a little bit. It's just a little bit. All right.
Listen, there is no stink. There is no stink. It's just your nose. I think it's a your nose problem.
So, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This is definitely exciting. This is definitely new. I've never really had to. I never actually got to talk to you like on a one-on-one basis, you know.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because I think we went on like Among Us and we played with King. So yeah, this is the first time we've actually done a one-to-one talk.
You're right. We did play with King initially, right? It was Overwatch, I think, for his 24-hour stream. I think
that sounds right. I feel you could literally say anything and I would just be like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew Wolfles like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in his chats, you know. When did you start streaming?
I mean, 3 years ago, but I mean, you could have been there 2 hours, 2 years early.
I was waiting.
One day he will arrive.
A guy named No History Here Gaming will be here.
Oh, here's my full name and everything.
I'm a super fan. I guess I could, since I brought it up, you want to talk about, I guess, how you even began streaming?
Yeah. Well, it's the start of COVID, maybe a couple months in, and I was just getting, it was just my mind was going, and I was like, okay, I need to do something. And I remember talking to a friend I used to play ice hockey with, and he was doing streaming on Twitch, and I was like, oh, I don't know what Twitch is. Thought I'd check him out. And it was really cool. He was playing Ark Survival, and he had all these dinosaurs, and it looked really, really cool. So I thought, okay, I might give this a go, but I didn't want to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a friend that I used to work with, and we decided that we were going to, if I was going to do this, I would do it with him, and he would join me and do like co-op streams, and we like build from there. Um, and I think we got 3 streams in together when we thought. I think he had a lot of work, so he can really do it. So I think it was like 3 streams in. We decided. I think he said, "Oh, I can't really keep up with this."
Mhm.
Um, so it was kind of just me, and I must admit, like I was really I really missed streaming with him because the being called No History Here Gaming, it was actually like we made like a fake band for us. Like we had this fake band called No History Here Gaming. No, sorry, No History Here. And we thought, oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So it's actually the name came from him as well. But yeah, that's essentially my Twitch streaming origin story.
Oh my god, that's actually really cool.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I really got well into it. I was doing like 4 or 5 streams a week at the start, and then I was like, I kind of simmered down to about 3. But yeah, no, I've not looked back. It's like 3 years and 3 months later, and I'm still doing it. So
So you kind of
must
like
be
you fell in love with streaming.
100%, yeah. Uh, yeah, I can't imagine life without streaming, which again, this sounds really, really like sad, but I can't imagine not streaming now. Um, but yeah.
So that's how you got into Twitch streaming, right? So I guess with that, how was the I guess the switch from no history here gaming to Woofles the Waffler?
Um, it was a really weird. I felt like it was really weird because I cannot remember the name. Uh, yeah, because like when I was doing it, um, I spent a couple of months really trying to think what kind of Sona I have. And I know it doesn't look like it because I'm a grey wolf.
Mhm.
But like, there's lots of thoughts going on with what I wanted to do, and the names and stuff. So once I had that model and I was all ready for it, I did like a last stream as No History Here Gaming, and I thought, oh, I said that, oh, I'm gonna be Wiffles the Wolf, and I'm gonna switch off. This is gonna be the last one, and I think in between me doing my last No History Here Gaming
Mhm.
stream and trying to change my username, somebody had gone in and changed their name to Wiffles the Wolf, so I couldn't get that. So I was like, shoot, I need to try and think of I need to try and think of a new name, and I think Wiffles the Waffler kind of came up as like a secondary choice for me. Um, so also like during that time, I'd also sent there's this website that you uploaded these clips and you can enter into these competitions, and like once a month or something they'll pick out like the best clips and they'll do like a little competition with it. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Automatically submitted my stuff anyway, and I never got in. But like the moment I changed my name, like my clip got entered into it.
Mhm.
And like I said, they have this big kind of once a month stream celebration where they like the big celebration where they show these clips, and it came up as No History Here Gaming, and I had to like DM the person, be like, "Hi, sorry, it's Wiffles now." So it was like, oh, so I think my transition into Wiffles has been such a weird change, and it was like it wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be, but I'm so glad I did it. It was, but yeah.
Are you happy with the change, or is there something that you wish you could have done a little bit better?
um, I don't think so. I love the change, and I think the moment I changed to Wiffles, it completely changed the way I felt like it changed the way I thought, and it kind of helped a little bit because with No History Here Gaming, I didn't feel like it kind of gave off like furry vibes, and I felt like that was really me. And it was also weird because when I started really getting my persona, um, like I started making more furry friends because for the first best part of well for the first year and a half of streaming, I was the only furry on my channel.
Mhm.
So like I was always like it was always like the furry representing. So like when I changed from No History Here Gaming, like I have a whole load of friends who, like non-furry friends, call me History. And so when I got all these new furry friends that came in, Wiffles just felt right. It just kind of felt like moving into my furry era, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You mentioned some of your friends calling you history. I do see a little bit of that happen in like your older videos, which which I kind of also want to discuss about because like you had a Tatum, I believe, model, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a wee edit.
It was a was it a gray and black model with glasses, I believe.
Oh, the cookies and cream one from
Ah,
VR chat. Yeah.
you
Oh,
were
I remember that one.
you were using that one a lot more at the time, and then you got, I think, you got I'm assuming Woofles is a Tatum model. I think
It is
just
indeed, yeah.
just modeled more like a gray wolf.
Yeah, so I edited all the like the big fluff and like the neck and stuff like that, and edited it down a little bit.
Mhm.
So it's mainly the Tatum model, just without the hair.
Ah, so that's why Woofos has a huge tail.
Oh yeah, but that was. I mean, I always wanted a huge tail. I think when I was writing down, I think I don't know where it is, but I've got somewhere in my flat right now. I've got like all the notes of things I really, really wanted to have in the Sona, and big tail, and I wanted big ears, and I wanted a backward cap. These were all the things I was like, I need to have this. And then the Tatum model came, I was like, oh, perfect.
So I mean, I guess so that was the creation of Woofles, but I guess what also I guess is there a reason for the gray wolf?
Well, yeah, actually, I kind of felt like when I started streaming, I was really really into Beastars. I'm still really really into Beastars, and I'm looking forward to the season coming out. Um, but like I was really really into it, and I loved Legoshi. And again, actually, funnily enough, the guy that I was starting to stream with, like they started the channel together. I he reminded me so much of Legoshi, and I was so obsessed because I was like, that's my friend, because it was like honestly, it was down to the T. Like he was a really really tall guy. The way he stood, the way he spoke, the way he thought, I was like, that's 100% him, and I'm like, that's why I got so obsessed. So when I started streaming, and like I felt like this is like the first era of like my stream. I was wearing like the Legoshi mask, and I had like Legoshi cosplay, so it kind of followed on from there, being a wolf. Um, but uh, but I don't know. It kind of grew from just like haha, Beastars reference to like actually I really do like wolves. So I kind of phased into it. I didn't even realize that wolves were like the most common persona
Mhm.
until like I had settled on being a wolf, and I'm like, oh, I'm so basic.
Nah, no. I think it's really fun. I really enjoy finding out how or why people choose their sonas because it really does reflect a lot of them. And I guess in my respect for why I chose my sona, it's because I'm very indecisive. You know, you like I've discussed my lore with you, right? Oh, actually, before I get into my lore, what do you have lore?
You know, it's I love lore. I love creating lore. I like I love doing it for like world building and stuff. But I have still not written like Wolf's lore. I don't know why, but I've just not done it yet.
Oh, Wolf's lore. Well,
I know.
lore is just for fun, you know. Not everyone wants or not everyone needs lore, but it is another way to express, you know, your character and maybe hide in things that you wish you had or you didn't have, you know. It's a way to get those ideas out.
Yeah.
And I guess as I was saying, the reason why I am Connor, right, is because I I'm very indecisive. I don't know. what I want. I don't know what I'd like to be. So having the ability to just change my form in any way is definitely, I guess, the reason why I am a dog, I'm a squirrel, I'm a shark. It's just me. Which is really funny because because I didn't know about. Have you've heard of the Netflix movie Nimona, right?
I've not seen it yet, but
You
I
haven't
have
seen
heard of
it?
it.
Okay, then I
I
can't. Then
know.
I will not say any more. You need to watch it. But just know, before I even knew the character of Nimona, I was like, that's basically my lore.
So what you're saying is Nimona stole your lore.
No, no, no.
The
Ap-
official statement from Connor.
Apparently, like I didn't even know that Nimona was a web comic before it became an animated movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
uh, I need to check out more. I feel like I just don't seem to know about these things. I need to
No,
check out that stuff.
I get that. Like I definitely do let a bunch of media go by, and I feel like sometimes when I talk with my friends and they're like, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" or "Oh, have you watched anything at all?" And I'd be like, "I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies." And I feel like I need to get into that.
I 100% are with you. Like there's so many times I go to work and they're like, "You've not seen this?" And you know the fact that I went to see the Barbie movie and I was like, "Oh my goodness, finally I feel relevant in a conversation. I'm ready. Hit me with all the questions." And it was so I 100% feel you with that.
Yeah, there's an ongoing joke between me and King, uh, that um that I'm uncultured because I don't watch horror movies.
Oh, I think I've only watched. I think there's only been like what 2 or 3 horror films that I've properly watched, like maybe series like Saw and stuff like that. But I do not watch. I don't watch many horrors
Yeah,
either.
me neither. But it's not for like the reason of all me being scared or well, partially anyway, because there are a few titles that definitely do startle me. Um, but I don't know. It's just I never really had an interest in a lot of horror movies because it's either all gore or it's all just very manufactured to me. I feel like a lot of the situations wouldn't really happen in real life.
See, I'm kind of like I've got. It's the same with like games and stuff. I don't like things lurking around corners. I don't like being chased, and I don't like dark, scary rooms. And I'm like, every horror film has dark, scary rooms, creeping around corners, and somebody being chased. And I'm like, no, no, this is just not for me.
But it's funny because like I guess horror just does it really well. People like seeing other people being scared. People like sometimes people like being chased, people like being scared. And it's a very like interesting kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the adrenaline rush or something.
Oh, because I remember. Have you? I don't know if you've ever played at Dead of Night.
Mm-mm.
It's a horror game and it's like a click and point and move adventure game in a hotel, and it is probably the scariest game. Like I literally couldn't like turn away to close my door like after that, like because since you're point and clicking you have no control where you're looking, so
Mm-hmm.
you just need to trust the game. So like I didn't have like I couldn't move through my house with like without like all the lights on. I was so frightened, and I think that was like the last time I played a horror game for like a whole like 2 years or something. I was just done.
I guess that leads me to you said point and click. That's like what Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry, that sounds very like that sounds like very generalized. But like the only point and click game I know that I even attempted to play was definitely Five Nights at Freddy's.
I have still to play that. And I mean, technically, it's a furry game, so I feel
Mm,
like I should experience that at some point.
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a very jumpy person, which is also why I chose the squirrel as one of the main characters. Um, because squirrels are pretty jumpy. Um, so Five Nights at Freddy's. Point and click. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I'm not a horror person, but I definitely want to try. You know, and I feel
See,
like that's a title to I guess try because it is kind of furry.
see, I always feel like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play a horror game. Like I was it this year. I started playing Outlast.
Mhm.
Well, I say started playing. I think I played it for 2 hours, and I thought, okay, no. But like, but like, it was weird because I go in thinking, you know what, I'm gonna be so brave. I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be super cool. And then the moment I get to the main menu, I'm like, this was a bad idea. And the thing is, like, it's not like I could then switch it off because if I'm streaming it, it's like I've got people seeing it, and I'm like, oh, I kind of have to now. It's why I was like partially glad. At one point, my computer like completely crashed, and like I got a blue screen. I was like, part of me was like actually so glad I got like a 5 minute break from the horror game. It was just I'm such a jelly. I just can't handle it. I don't know how people can be so brave.
Oh no, maybe they're masochists.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I guess yeah. So during a lot of your Twitch streams, you do mention uni. You've also mentioned that you recently, I believe, like what was it, like a few months ago, that you've completed uni. And I guess how was that? What drove you into like I don't remember exactly what you were studying at the time, but like what drove you to it?
Oh, yeah, so it's games design and production. So it's one of those weird ones. I started with university, like doing social science. I was doing like psychology, sociology, and criminology, and I got my degree from that. And I was like, every time I was spending my breaks, every lunchtime, I was like constantly writing down like lore and like game tutorials and game ideas and games stuff. And I kind of got to the point where I was like, I finished my year and I was just like, you know what? Let's try something different. So I went all the way back to college, and again, I don't know if you know, like with Scottish places, like you get free education, but like free universities and stuff.
Mhm.
But if you go back, like if you go below the level that you're below your highest level, you have to pay for it. So it was like about 7 years in a row I had to like pay for college and uni, and essentially I got a student loan and I went straight into that to go back and do games development. And honestly, like with that stuff, it was just like this idea of creating lore and creating a world and having all this cool stuff, and I just wanted to figure out how to essentially make it official, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use,
Yeah.
but like,
I believe it's more like how to realize what you've been writing down.
yeah, yeah, oh, 100%. And I did that for 7 years, I think. So like, yeah, it was just I really drove to do that because I wanted to just have fun because I could have just gone got a PhD, be Doctor Wiffles and stuff, but like, which would have been such a weird concept. But I thought, you know what, I'll just go with it, do something that I think I'll enjoy more, and that's why I kind of got into games, and I was like so happy. It's also another reason why I wanted to do streaming as well, so I can learn more from other games instead of playing Overwatch for like 7,000 hours. And it's just so yeah, I was so glad I branched out from Overwatch as well from the
that
course.
that's actually very similar to how I got into art myself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because I'm growing up. I had ideas. I had stories that I wanted to tell, but I had no way to really, uh, I guess, express them. So, and for the most part, I'm more of a painter. I'm more of a colorist. I enjoy coloring the lines in coloring books and stuff like that. I was never really the guy who would draw the stuff to color. Um, but it wasn't until recently where I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's create some shit. And we're here now. You see my PNGs, you see my you see the sketches I've made for you, King, and all my friends. Well, that's all just, that's all practice into something that I've been wanting to do for like a really good time.
Oh, dude, honestly, like I'm not just saying it because we're here and chatting and you're my friend, but honestly, I genuinely love your art. I love the styles. I love, like you said, like no, you're saying about like watercolors and stuff, and
Mhm.
I just that stuff fascinates me so much. I'm not an artist myself. I've never been good at art, but like I just enjoy people's creativity, and I love what you do with yours.
Aw,
'Cause-
thank you.
but no, it is true though. It's true. I love what you do, and every time you post something up, I'm like, oh, it's so cool.
I need to post more. I do need to post more.
I will patiently wait for it. I will patiently.
Thank you.
But it's honestly, yeah, no, I love what you do with it. It's really, really cool.
I guess because it came up during the talk. You mentioned that you were gonna study for psychology and criminology. What was that about?
Yeah, yeah. So it was it was one of those weird ones where like I really wanted to learn. I wanted to become a psychologist at one point, like a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Because while other people that I went to school with did like work experience in like grocery stores and like the like local places and stuff, I somehow managed to get a work experience in this like I'm trying to remember. It was like a psychologist office, and I have no idea how I managed to get it. But like they were just talking through all this stuff, and they're talking all about like alcohol addiction and stuff like that. And they mentioned about clinical psychologists, and I thought, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And just like learning all about it. And I am still to this day, I'm so fascinated by like psychology and stuff. But yeah, I think part of me, I've gone through like a progression where like I wanted to do psychology because personally I thought I want to help people with who are perhaps like struggling through things.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I somewhat moved on to games because I thought if I can create video games that makes people feel happy and included and help mental health, I thought, oh, that's great. I can help more people. And so I guess that's kind of been my progression with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just love it. I just love psychology.
That's really cool. Uh, my brother is actually studying psychology, so it's really neat. Yeah, it's really it's really weird how many furries I've met who have, I guess, dabbled in psychology.
I, to be fair, furries are very interesting psychologically. They're so interesting. You have so many cases, so you're set for life.
Oh yeah, Brahma. I think you mean my lore. It definitely yeah, it definitely it's very eye opening, I guess. Hearing that. But criminology, is that like a thing that you were interested in just like because I don't know, are there like cop shows or are there like true crime things that you would watch or something like that?
Ah, it was one of those weird ones where I kind of specialized in it and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted from it. I was just like, yo, hey, this will be cool, learning about criminals. And then a lot of it was all talking about like the architecture of like prisons and stuff. And I was like, I don't know what this means. So it's safe to say I did not do well in that class. I
Ah.
just I just could not get it. Was weirdly enough, like with psychology, they always talked about this exam coming up, and I completely blanked and I forgot about it. And then I realized my friends were talking about it, and they said, "Oh, it's tomorrow," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I've not tested, I've not studied at all." So like I was coming into so we all get put into a hall before going into the main hall for the exam and stuff. So I had like all my notes just everywhere. It was all over the place. Nothing made sense. And I was just trying to remember as much as possible. and somehow that was the best grade I ever had for university. Was that one exam that I didn't study for whatsoever. But yeah, so that was the time. Was criminology? No matter how much I looked at the stuff, I was like, this is not going through. This is just not going through. But some, I think I just passed that one. But yeah, it's a distant nightmare now.
I mean, I guess talking about our interests and stuff. Like, I didn't know you were so musically inclined, Wolves. You can sing. You play the guitar. Like,
I can't sing. I'm not a very good singer. I just enjoy playing guitar and singing. I suck at it.
no. I think your singing was beautiful. I'm also just like the guitar and singing at the same time. It's just already so difficult. You're already putting two things at odds. You know? You're using your hands to play the guitar, and then you're using your voice to sing and think of the melodies, the rhythm in your mind, and you're playing it like that. I think that's really cool. I think that's pretty insane.
Oh, I appreciate it. I was for that stream when I had like the VR headset on. I was struggling. There was like parts of like sometimes when I was changing chords, I was like panicking in case like I was gonna mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if I mess it up, I'm like I don't know if I know where my fingers are to like unmess it up. So I was like, oh, I was like so panicking throughout the whole thing, and then I was also concentrating because my hand was looking weird in VR chat. It was, yeah, I was so nervous doing that. But speaking of singing, Connor, I think I think I remember a certain squirrel doing a little bit of karaoke with the voice of an angel.
It's not
So
it's not that good. there are
what is
definitely
it?
there are definitely better people out there with better voices. Obviously, I'm
Well,
just obviously I'm just trying to have fun. Because that's what karaoke's for. You know, I don't think karaoke's one of those things where you're set out to sing the best and entertain. It's definitely more, you know, kind of just chilling. Or at least that's how I see it.
oh yeah,
Just having fun with it.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, like it's just about finding the songs that you love singing and just blasting out. And it's just like yeah, people can have a goofy time. People can do whatever, and I think, yeah, I think it's especially karaoke. It shouldn't be taken very seriously.
Yeah.
But it was really fun watching you stream like that.
Thank you. I honestly, if I could say a little bit, right? You guys, that stream happened right after you, Dark and King were racing, right? Your Final Fantasy X race.
Ah, yeah.
And I was coming home from work. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream. I haven't streamed a while. I'm feeling I don't know. I'm feeling very, I guess, down at the moment. I definitely was not feeling good at the time, and I would definitely like to talk about that, but like without names, because you know
Yeah, yeah.
it's a little difficult to talk about. But that said, um I was like, you know, fuck it. I need to focus on me right now, and what I want to do now is I want to focus on the stuff that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that was streaming, that was art, that was, you know, and just creating things, you know. I definitely feel like in the moment I had reservations as to if I could do it. I was definitely putting myself down and definitely holding myself back when it came to that. And at some point I was like, just do it. Just do it. Do the most embarrassing thing you can think of. And you know, like, and that was definitely karaoke. I'm hella embarrassed with how my voice sounds. I'm like hella embarrassed at singing in front of like a crowd of any kind. Um so when you guys like, so I did that, and I imagined you guys had already chosen someone to raid out by the time that I started. So I had like, I'm just gonna do it. No one's gonna be here anyway. Yeah, you know, let's go. And I do it, and just like a few minutes later, I get a raid from both Dark and King, and it's just, oh, Oh, the nerves settled in. But it was really sweet. It was really sweet.
It was really nice watching you, and I must admit, I get what you mean. Like, so when you get the double raid, and you're, oh my goodness, like, but no, I also appreciate your use of hella. I need that. I need that word in my life. I don't hear it nearly enough. I need more people to say hella.
Hella.
Thank you. But no, honestly, I think you dealt with it really well because, like, obviously with streaming, sometimes when you get that bombardment, you're like, oh my goodness, but you did it really well. You were awesome. You were singing. It was amazing. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
I want to see. I want to see more karaoke streams.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. I definitely have begun to like after those VR karaoke streams. I definitely have begun to look into possibly doing more music stuff on my end. uh, I don't usually talk about it, but I definitely had written songs like back in high school.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you still have them?
I didn't know.
Because I'm really curious because like I also used to see when I was in high school. I was very much like the old emo stuff.
Oh
Like
no.
it was very emo and like, God, mom, it's like it's my art kind of emo, and I was like, it was very dramatic.
No, yeah.
Um, so like I can 100% relate with that, and then I
No.
scrapped it all.
Yeah, like when you're in middle school, when you're in high school, those are like the most like emotional times of your life, right? Um
Yeah.
like especially middle school, like kids are fucking asses. They're shitheads. um
Oh yeah.
you know, like so a lot of what I wrote was definitely based on how I felt at the time, how I was trying to cope being, I guess in a sense how I felt was alone. Um and I look back to, like in high school at it, I'm like, man, this sucks.
Oh, I do feel you with that. A lot of my music sucks, but I would have loved to seen I would have loved to seen what you did though. It would have been so cool.
Yeah.
So like, is there one? I don't know if you've got the same, but like, is there one song that you're like you always come back to for like not like comfort, but is it like a cozy song just to settle down to? Like if you're feeling a bit or is there like or do you just have like a genre you go for, or is there anything in particular?
It's definitely like recently it's been the Paramore album After Laughter.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll try not gasp too much. So the moment you said the name, I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely been those songs. They've definitely helped me a lot through a situation that I put myself in, and you know, I'm obviously doing better. I'm obviously feeling a lot better, but obviously those emotions are still going to be there, and it's just working through them. And that album has definitely helped me work through them. Um,
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
said,
yeah.
you know, I do sing. I think the song is definitely it's a little funny saying the song name after just saying I'm doing better, but it's definitely called Fake Happy.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
wonder. No, but it's definitely it's that song definitely just helps me realize that we're all going through a lot. No one really knows, you know, that what anyone's going through at the moment at the time. And as much as we would all like to put on that bright happy face for everyone, it's not realistic for yourself and for others because at some point, you know, those emotions are going to come out anyway.
Yeah, and I 100%, I 100% agree with you with that. I don't. Do you ever listen to Bo Burnham?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen a few things of Bill Burnham. I think he did a Netflix special too, right?
he did. He did recently. Have you heard of his song "Are You Happy"?
I believe I have. I I don't know if I've actually what's the word I'm looking for? If I actually gone through them, they're definitely been through more like TikToks and more clip like that I've heard his music.
Ah, right. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, and I think this was like the end of his last show before he went on a hiatus and stuff.
Mm.
And it had this song called "Are You Happy?" And it's one of those songs that like every time I'm feeling down and stuff, I listen to that song, and it's weird because it's very depressing,
Mhm.
but it's also like super comforting. And I remember first time listening to it, I was just like sat there, just like looking at my keyboard, being like, "Oh wow." So yeah, it's weird. It's weird because it just talks about it questions like, "Are you happy?" And I think when I like was listening to it, I was like trying to think like, "Am I happy?" And I think after that, I was like, you know what? If I'm not happy with something, I'm not gonna go with it. I'm just like I'm focusing in on the things that make me happy rather than the things that don't make me happy. So I had like such a mental change after listening to that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can definitely sympathize with that, right? Like it's definitely the word I use when it comes to listening to music and then realizing my feelings right after. I don't know. I don't know if the word is correct, but I definitely say that I reach a point of catharsis with them. I think you can find happiness, you can find positive things in sadness too. It's it's definitely a little weird to acknowledge it a little bit, but there is, you know, like I've had talks with King, and he has definitely assured me that, you know, um the weirdness, the sadness, everything, you know, it's gonna be there for a while, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, it's gonna be okay. um a lot of feelings, you know, are very in the moment. It's very temporary, and sometimes you do need something that, I guess, jog you out of that sense of, I guess, I don't know if despair would be the word, but definitely
Yeah.
those moments of just, you know, sadness, I guess. And you know, music is just really cool and really helpful in that sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of King, like being really supportive, I like. So this is getting very personal, but like, like was it last week? I broken up with my partner of 5 years, and I remember like King just sending me a voice. I like messaged them, and he sent me a voice message just being like, "You're going to be okay," and I remember just crying, like, oh. I just like calmed down and I was like, okay, I'm fine. And then I listened to that message and I'm like, oh, and
No,
start again. It was just so it was more tears of like joy kind of thing more than
yeah,
anything. But
it's
it was just like,
it's
sorry.
definitely, no, I get what you mean. I literally had something happen like that in VR chat with King. Um, as I said, like to a little bit of what's been going on. I'm an overthinker. I definitely sometimes I definitely have held a lot of my emotions um in fear of how others would react, right? And I guess at some point I impulsively blew up in front of two of the most incredible people I've ever met. And since then, you know, uh uh I had no contact with them because they were definitely processing at the time what had happened. And at some point I had to move on a little bit. It definitely felt like I ruined something incredible, and it hurt a lot. Um Obviously we're now in a better place. We talked it through, and we're all doing much better. But there is still that sense of air where it's a little awkward. But that
Hmm.
said, I had a day where I was like, you know what, I need to take my mind off things. And we talked, I talked to King. He's like, and I said, hey, my VR headset's in, it just came in, you want to hang out in VR? And we did. um and then, you know, we were having a good time, and then at some point, you know, my thoughts came rushing in, and he definitely helped me through that. it was very sweet of him, and he did like the when he crosses his eyes, he did a bunch of that shit, and it made me feel so much better.
Oh yeah, but it's awesome though. It's awesome. Like I'm incredibly lucky that like I've got so many awesome friends supporting me.
Yeah.
So like I 100% relate with that, and it's one of those things. It's like I don't know. I don't know if you get the same, but like after people being so supportive to me, I'm like I need to find a way to pay you back.
Yes,
Like
yes,
it's
always.
like it's like I don't want you to go through heartbreak. I don't want you to be upset, but I want to find something. I want to find something to make you feel happy. Just anything. And like I've got a couple of friends that I talk to and stuff about this. And they're always like, no, 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 it's fine. You're my friend. And you're like, no, 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 no,
No.
no. You give me something to pay you back. But yeah, no, it's awesome though. It's really awesome. It's the kind of I don't know if one of the biggest joys I've had since joining the furry community and stuff. Because I don't think I didn't have many IRL friends who'd be like this supportive.
Yeah.
So it's been really really awesome.
Yeah, I definitely I share that sentiment a lot. I joined the fandom at a really difficult time. Rona, everything happening.
Oh yeah.
There was a bit of isolation going on, and unfortunately, I did end up losing a lot of the people that I would call my IRL friends. Um, so the fandom has definitely helped me in that regard. Um, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's it's insane to it's insane how kind everyone is. It's like really
Yeah.
it's really it puts me into perspective, like the people that I thought were kind in my life were like not really. It's weird.
Oh, it's weird. I feel like furries take it to like a whole new level of comforting.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's how I want to phrase it, but like I feel like I remember doing like a little bit of research into this and thinking I think furries are really get involved and they kind of know what to say because I think so many furries have been through it. They're either like social anxious, they get really worried, they're like a lot of overthinkers and stuff. So I think a lot of us kind of get it.
Yeah.
So when you see somebody who is struggling, you're like, oh, I know this feeling, I know this, and you actually genuinely feel like they know because yeah.
Yeah, speaking on that, actually, that let's kind of move on away from the heavy topics, right? For a little bit. Your content. Your YouTube content, because you kind of brought it up a little bit. Um you've made, I think, like 4 videos, more like serious-ish, in a way, about furries and YouTube and furries and their content, some problems furries would face, and the social awkwardness, as you said. Like,
Yeah.
how, like, it's, to me, like, those videos were definitely very helpful, in a way, to me as well. um what got you to make those videos?
Oh, but I appreciate you saying that, by the way. I think it's one of those ones where it's like, I remember talking to quite a few people, and they were like, I noticed a lot of people actually. I think for first one was the social awkwardness video.
Mhm.
I was on Twitch and I was talking to a whole lot of people in chat, and I noticed that there wasn't a single person talking that didn't say that they felt socially awkward and felt like they didn't really talk much to people because they were worried in case they say something and people were like, what? And it felt awkward, so they felt like that's why they become silent and stuff like that. And I realized that so many people I was talking to felt this way, and including myself. I feel confident talking to you. I feel confident talking on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. But like, get me in real life, and I start panicking, and I'm like, what do I do? But like, but then I thought, you know what? Like, I'll talk about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what? Like, there are a lot of furries that are perhaps a little bit socially awkward, and I thought I wanted to tell people that that is okay. We are a weird community, and we are also very socially weird. And I thought like it's okay to be weird, because if we weren't weird, then we wouldn't have furries, and if we didn't have furries, then we wouldn't all be connected in the way we are now. And in terms of the other like the content and stuff, I don't know. It's one of those ones where like I saw that Reddit post that was talking about not being furry enough, and I was like, I just want to be like, it's no, you if you identify as a furry, you're a furry, and I wanted people to know that they are like good enough and stuff. And you don't need to like be a certain way to be part of a certain group and stuff. So yeah, I think that's my main motivations for those ones. Um, a lot of it seems to just be rambles. Like I was looking back at one of my videos, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm just rambling. But I enjoy talking about this stuff.
Oh, because I do that all the time. I do the rambling thing all the time. But it's
I love your rambles.
thank you. But I like your videos a lot because like when you do ramble or when you do certain things, it puts into perspective like like that I can understand it. It's really weird because I definitely don't I it's really hard to stick to one topic for me. I do like bouncing around. I do like, oh, let's put a pin in that and let's come back to it later, or oh, let's talk about this for a second, or oh, hey, you talked about this, I want to talk about that kind of. I'm definitely that kind of person. So like hearing you sometimes go on a bit of a tangent, it's very refreshing to see. Um because like a lot of the content that I would usually watch is definitely straightforward and it's all just one continuous straight line. But not everyone is like that, and not everyone can script their stuff like that, and not everyone can really express their stuff like that. You know, there's this
Mm.
personality to your videos that really does it like, I know this is gonna sound corny, very cheesy, but it definitely lights up my mood.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I really, really do. Um, yeah, I think especially the YouTube videos, um, they're not there. I've privated a lot of my older stuff
Mhm.
because I tried doing YouTube about 2 years ago, in my first era of like Twitch streaming, and it was very much like I tried having a script, I tried having this and that, and all this stuff, and I was like, it was just not a fun time. I remember there was one video that I was doing was I can't remember what it was called. It was some little indie game. I thought, oh, that'll be fun to do. And it was an alpha, and I thought that's great. I can get it and see if I can get it for when it um like start something new with it.
Mhm.
And by the time it took me about 2 months to edit like the whole video, and by the time I edited it, it was like a month into like full release, and I'm like, all the features I had in that one video were like gone, and I was like, oh.
Oh.
So I think after that, I was like, oh my goodness, I spent so much time on this, and it's now inaccurate. So I think when I took a wee break, and when I came back, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna speak from the heart. I'm gonna speak from the heart and just go for it. And like I said, sometimes I go on like tangents. Sometimes things are like a lot of my videos are very messy, but like I just enjoy it so much. So yeah, I very much enjoy just rambling about things that I like talking about. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I really appreciate you saying that. Honestly, it means a lot.
I wanted to ask you, do you like, you might have already said a lot of this in other videos, but do you have any advice for anyone who would probably be starting Twitch streaming or even just content creation in general?
Ooh, oh, I have lots of advice. How long have we got?
um,
um, like it's one of those weird ones. Like my biggest piece of advice I could say would be turn off anything. Like in terms of Twitch, turn off anything to do with numbers. Like I know that once you try and get to like affiliate and stuff like that, but pay no mind to it. If you're doing this for fun, um, even like even if you're seeing a little bit of numbers and think, yeah, it's not going to do. I'm not thinking about it. subconsciously you start like judging yourself on your performance on how many numbers you get, and you'll look at your stuff and oh no, there's a dip there, and I did this for a good solid year, and I was like, there's like a dip, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I say? What am I doing? Oh, people hate me. What's happening? So like I was like overthinking it, and I'm like, it was a struggle, and it was only when I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna not look at any numbers at all. The only time I ever see any numbers is when I raid off, and when I raid off, I always say that those numbers don't really say how many people were in, because the moment you say you're going to raid, people might leave or people might lurk um or whatever. So like whatever number I see in the raid doesn't matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um so literally all I do in terms of like judging my own, like how I feel about my streams, is how I feel. Like if I finish the stream and I'm like, that wasn't the best, I think about like, okay, what can I do to make myself enjoy this more? And sometimes it can be a game change. Sometimes it can be a um, perhaps actually there was at one point I introduced like a furry question of the stream, and a lot of it like I just make up on the spot. But like I introduced that because I wanted to have like something that people can jump onto. And I also find it interesting because I'm so interested in what like people's personas and people's attitudes and people's lore and people in general. So I thought that would make me enjoy it more, and it has. I probably say those would be my biggest pieces of advice. Um, but I could literally go on for hours about this. um, but yeah, and I think it's really easy, especially at the start, to like compare yourself to other people. Like I know there's a streamer who started about a year and a half after me and got partner recently, and I'm like I like back in the day, I would have been like, oh no, why can't I be like that? But I think it's so easy to try and compare yourself to others, but just try not to. Try and just like everyone's their own unique person, and a lot of Twitch can be very much like a roll of the dice. It could be really lucky. It could be just at the right place at the right time, playing the right game. So like I said, if you feel like you're kind of stagnating and stuff, then just keep going, because all you need is that one lucky bounce, that one lucky raid, or one lucky person coming in to talk to you. And yeah, just as long as you're in the race, as long as you keep running, you're in the race. And
Wow.
I'll cut off that because I literally could talk for hours about that.
No, I think that's great. I think that's perfect, and I definitely would love to keep talking about the that, but you know, we've already been at this for like an hour. We'd be here for days. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I guess lastly, if you're comfortable with talking about it, I guess I should have brought this up a little later, but like it just came back to mind. Again, tangent ramble. But you know, I definitely want to say you're demisexual, correct?
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah. How did you figure that out? Like I like no shade, right? Like it took me a huge while to even figure out that I was gay in a sense. I use gay as a blanket term because I'm still trying to figure um out exactly, I guess, quote unquote, what label to put on myself. But how did you figure out that you were demi?
Uh, well, actually, it's another weird one where like I didn't realize it. Like I didn't know what demisexual was at all.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know anything about it until I remember somebody mentioned it on stream. I can't remember. They came in and said that they're demisexual, and I was like, oh yeah, what's that mean? And they were saying, yeah, so it means that like they don't have any like sexual attraction to anybody unless they have that emotional bond. And I'm like, dude, that makes so much sense. And I was like, because I was like, oh my goodness, that explains so much with like my past relationships. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it was almost like mind blown. I was like researching and going on Google, searching for everything, searching for like people's experiences. I'm like, oh my goodness, oh, ah. I was just, it's like that chef from Ratatouille. I was just like everything. It just made sense to me. Um, but like, it was weird. Because I kind of threw myself into this demisexual category. And it was, I don't know. It's again, it's almost like it's kind of came in the same time when I was starting to more dip into being a furry. So it was kind of like I was going to this massive like self discovery,
Oh yeah.
and like to this day, like I mean, I'm taking the approach that life's a journey, and if I knew everything now, then life would be so boring. So like I'm just exploring myself more and more nowadays. But if you don't mind me asking, like, so how did you find out that you say you identify as gay at the moment? It's like you're saying obviously you're still figuring out about yourself, but
Yeah.
um,
There's a lot
what
of
was your
I guess things to go through that. Obviously, if you didn't know, I grew up religiously. So that was a little tough getting used to. I definitely was not that good of a person growing up in middle school or high school. Because I was definitely in denial of my own feelings, my own sexuality and stuff like that. And it didn't come up until I believe high school where I really began to not believe but realize that I was the way that I was. I I have that attraction to people of my same gender, and it was really hard to come to terms with that. But it's definitely like meeting people who are the same, who think the same way, or just who have been very encouraging when it comes to that topic, has definitely helped me realize a lot. Realize that it's okay to be gay in a way. Um, but yeah, it was a hell of a journey. It was a hell of a realization, and I'm very confident to be able to say that yeah, I definitely am part of the, as people would say, the alphabet mafia.
the alphabet? I've never heard that. I love that. I'm going to refer to it as that from now on.
The alphabet mafia.
Yeah.